Politics. I'm your host, Darlene Price, and tonight we have the County Judge Executive debate for the position in McCreary County, Kentucky. First, we want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. The camera can't see this, but we got a crap load of people back here that showed up tonight. How about a big round of applause for our audience showing up tonight? Showing that they care about what's going on in the county. And we want to thank MVR TV and everybody behind the scenes, Michael Mann and all the folks behind the scenes that for 15 years have made Truth or Politics keep happening and keep happening. So thank you, Steve Hall and MVR TV. We also want to thank our candidates tonight. They're going to be introducing themselves here shortly. And we also want to thank our timekeeper from the County Attorney's Office, Josh Lowe. Here's going to be our timekeeper. Attorney Josh Lowe is going to be our timekeeper tonight. He's volunteered, so we appreciate him. So let's get started. First, I'm going to hit the rules. And I'm going to read these every time before each debate. And we will be having debates every Monday night for the next month and a half, I think. So, rules. Candidates need to arrive at 5:30 so that they can be properly informed of the rules. Questions will be asked by the moderator. Each candidate will have the same opportunity to answer the same questions. The answer will be timed. When the moderator states time, you must stop talking. When it's your turn to answer, you may spend your time responding to a previous comment or answer, or you may spend your time entirely on the current question, or a combination. That's up to you. It's your time, spend it how you want. Each candidate will have a timed opening and closing remarks. The candidates will have been given more than ample time to make this very important debate priority. Therefore, if candidate fails to attend, the debate will still go on with the opponent or opponents. Excuse me. Candidates will not interrupt each other. You must wait until it's your time to speak. We ask that the candidates and the audience members please silence your cell phones. We ask that the audience members do not interrupt the candidates while they're answering these questions. The citizens watching and listening to these debates want to know what the candidates have to say, not the audience. We submitted, as we started in November, asking for questions from the public, as concerned citizens. Email me questions. And I've got a lot of really good questions from the public. Now, if you don't recognize exactly your question, it's probably because I've had, one of the issues is dogs. Not a surprise, right? I'm not going to ask a question 10 different ways about one topic, about dogs, okay? So I'm formulating, or drugs, or whatever. I'm going to formulate, the 20 questions I got into one question, okay? So, please don't be offended or something. If you don't have your question, ask exactly how it was. It's because I got 20 questions, pretty much the same. Okay. Opening statements. What we're going to do is we'll give our folks 3 minutes each. Folks, I know 2 minutes sounds like such a short amount of time, or 3 minutes. Those who have been through this before, most people never even use 2 minutes. It just feels forever. So first we're going to start off with opening statements. What we're going to do is take turns going first. So we'll let you go first, and then next. And you guys got to keep me straight. You got to keep me straight too. If he goes first this time, then you'll go first the next time, and we'll go back and forth. So it's fair. Everybody gets to go first on whichever question it is. Okay? So is that all right?
Yeah,
okay?
Sure.
Okay. So you go first, and we'll start for 3 minutes. Opening statement.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank you for being here tonight. Readers out here. I'm grateful to see so many of you staying engaged, attending meetings, asking questions, and taking an active role in our county's future. If elected, I will be committed to working with everyone, every citizen, every community, in every corner of this county. My educational and professional experience have prepared me to understand budgets, planning, and responsibility decisions making. But I also know that many of you may not know me personally yet, so let me open that door. I'm accessible. I'm on Facebook. I don't care to give you my cell phone number. I'm always open for questions, concerns, and your ideals.
See, he didn't even use but a minute, right? That's what I'm saying.
40,
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like, but 3 minutes doesn't sound like a lot of time, but it is. Okay.
Yeah, good evening. My name's Jimmy Bevo Green. I'm currently your McCreary County Judge Executive. I'm on my second term. To tell you a little bit about me, I am a Christian first and foremost. I'm a Republican, definitely a conservative. I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran. I am a deacon at Walker's Chapel Missionary Baptist Church. I've been there, been serving as a deacon for 15 years, and I believe in the whole structure of government and the way that we have it here as a democracy in America. And the only promise I ever made when I ran for this office the first time was that I would serve all the people, regardless of your race, religion, social standing, or whether you voted for me or not. And I think in this position, you definitely have to take that into effect and keep that in consideration at all times, that you serve all citizens of McCreary County. And I think over the past 7 years, we've proven that we are very transparent. Anything that anyone needs to know about this county government, it's easily accessible. Our finance officer mentions that every time that she's on social media. Anytime anyone sends an open records request, it is answered. So we're very transparent, and that's what you should do as county government. And it's about serving the people in the best way possible, and serving them all honestly and fairly, and that's what we strive to do. And I'm very pleased and proud and privileged to be your judge executive. And of course, I'd like to be your judge executive for the next 4 years also. Thank you.
See, you only used a minute and a half. No, because I take heat. Oh, you're only giving 2 minutes. And it's like, that's a lot of time. Okay. So this next question. This was number 5 or 4 or 5, because I kind of ranked them, how many people asked the question. But it's my show, so I'm moving this to number 1, because this is my number 1 concern right now in this county. And if you've had the good sense to read my book, sorry, cheap plug, while no one's watching, there's a story in there about just how dangerous what's called landfill leachate is. How dangerous that is. And it's about my favorite mayor. Sarcasm. But anyway, so there is a proposed landfill, a ginormous landfill that they're going to try to build in Scott County, Tennessee. What does that have to do with McCreary County? It has a lot to do with McCreary County. This landfill, they're going to be bringing in waste from all over the country. They're going to be bringing in toxic waste. They're going to be bringing in demolition waste. And Bear Creek runs right through that. Bear Creek runs into the Lake Cumberland and the Cumberland River. Our drinking water's downstream from this. We're next. Our drinking water outtake system is from that. This is a potential disaster, in my humble opinion, and many others. And you know, I wore the shirt tonight and everything. So, my question to the candidates, and again, this is my my number 1 concern. What is going to be your policy going forward about fighting or not fighting this proposed landfill, and what is your feelings on it? Let's see. What
Judge
first?
Green.
Judge Green. Okay. 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay, as you know, that is a very important matter right now. And, you know, as you know, Darlene, I've been since the forefront of this, and as soon as I was notified of this, we got on board. McCreary County is participating in a coalition along with Scott County, Huntsville, Winfield, and the county of Scott County and the city of Oneida. So we have a coalition, and we put money where our mouth is. And we put money together to hire a lawyer that specializes in environmental issues like this. So as you know, we've been to every single meeting. We're represented there. We've been to the Cumberland Clear meetings, a couple of those in Oneida, and the one that you hosted in Whitley City. So we are very much aware of that. We understand the gravity of this situation, how important it is, because it's to the company that wants to put the landfill in, it's about money. But to us, it's about life and about our safety of our families and our grandkids and those to come forward. So absolutely 100% opposed to the landfill, and I think it's the most important battle that we need to fight right now, and we need to all get behind that and be in one accord and one goal, and that's to stop the proposed landfill.
I agree with you, Mr. Green.
What? Can you do me a favor? Use the microphone.
Okay.
Because we won't be able to hear you on Facebook if you don't use that microphone. Okay.
I agree with you, Mr. Green. I too are against the landfill. We're not, you know, have it here.
You don't have it turned on.
Yeah, it's on.
It's on. Just hold it up a little closer to your mouth. There you
Okay.
go. We just want to make sure we can hear you.
Okay. But I too are opposed against the landfill. I do not want to hear. I'd stand behind anybody to, vote it out of here, keep it out of here. Pledge resources to it as well if I was elected judge. Continue y'all's work, success on it, and add to it if I could. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, next question. Please explain what you believe and this was number 2, I think, on the list, the community questions. Please explain what you believe the actual job entails of County Judge Executive. What are its purpose and limitations?
Number challenger.
Two.
Challenger.
So he goes first, okay.
Purpose of being a county judge, I mean, as I've stated in some things before, work for the people, taxpayers. They pay a lot of money here, and I'd like to know where their money's going. County government's something that I'm familiar a lot with, but I know I have a lot to learn. But I want to be here working for the people. Like I stated earlier, everyone in the county, like Mr. Green stated earlier. Just to try to make McCreary County move forward. I'm not saying that, previous administration ain't doing good things, but, I feel like county's ready for new ideas, new leadership, new whatever, and I want to give them that opportunity.
Okay.
Okay, the purpose of the judge executive, of course, you're the chief executive, administrative, and executive officer of the county. So basically, we're unique in McCreary County as we have no incorporated cities. So this is it. This is the only county government you have is what you see now. So we're in charge of everything from a pothole in the road to a barking dog to clearing the road. So the county judge has to administer that program and has to be in charge of the finances of the county as far as the money that comes into the county, be accountable for every penny, and try their best to be a good steward of that money and spend it in the way that's most wise and profitable for the citizens of McCreary County. So in that entails your ambulance service, your road department, your parks, tourism, ABC. So there's a big responsibility in that, and in order to have that job, you have to be able to work with the other entities in the courthouse, the other elected officials. You have to be able to make those connections, work with your state officials and your officials in Washington, D.C., and that's something that you've got to be able to do, coordinate all across the board, work with the school system, the college, the extension service. So there's a lot that goes into that job. I think a lot of people don't really realize what that entails, but it is a very important job and one I take very seriously.
Okay. What is, and forget about what I just said, okay, about, it's my important issue. The citizens want to know your opinion. What do you feel is the most important issue facing the citizens of McCreary County, and what is your plan to tackle this issue? 3 minutes. Let's do 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, that covers a lot, right? That question right there, Darlene. But of course, everybody's going to look at jobs. They're going to look at the economic development. They're going to look at the garbage issue. They're going to look at everything from the animal issue to the roads to the parks, and that's something we've strived to improve on every day. We've made great strides in improving in all the infrastructure. But I think something that people don't realize when they try to compare us to Pulaski County, they try to compare us to Fayette County or any other surrounding counties, but we are unique in that we only own about 20% of the land. So that's about 80% of the land that's owned by the federal government. And as you know, the federal government pays you pennies on the dollar. So there's only so much that you can do, but I feel like with the assets that we've got, with the right people in place, great department heads, I have a great staff in the courthouse, and a good relationship with everyone, that we're making strides in that. But it's a hard, tough road, and what the solution is to that, I don't know 100%, but I do know that we are striving every day. We have the spec building in the industrial park in Pine Knob that is occupied the first time in 20 years. So I think that was a great accomplishment, but I know we can't rest on our laurels, and we got to continue to move forward.
Could you repeat the question, please?
It is. What do you feel is the most important issue facing the citizens of McCreary County, and what is your plan to tackle this issue?
I've been out campaigning, so like a lot of important issues has been jobs. More people see jobs. So I want to tackle that issue and try to get more industry, work with the tourism, try to build it up to get some more tax revenue coming in from that part of it, to help hopefully relocate new jobs, new businesses in the county. So work to bring jobs to the county.
Okay, next one. This one in dogs, trash, dogs, and drugs were like the top three of people's concerns. And by the way, if you remember 4 years ago, it was the same thing. Okay, well, let's start with trash policies and procedures. And this kind of burns mine. You know what? People throwing out trash on the side of the road. That aggravates everybody. And I'm sure it's just, a handful or two of just idiots. And we've had show after show on this, and I've called them out on it and everything. But the citizens want to know, what is your policies and procedures? How are you going to handle this issue? How about 2 minutes on that?
On the trash part, I have to look at policies, see what they have in place. I'd like to add to those, and I feel like if we get to our younger kids and we get more education into the schools, get with the schools and get some more education in there, teach them, littering, it's wrong, we shouldn't do it. We got to start there, get there, and then we can, kids will tell their parents, Dad, we shouldn't do that, Mom, we shouldn't do that, they go down the road. But it is an issue here. I too see, when sometimes you throw out 2 or 3 and it adds up and it's everywhere. So I would like to clean up that mess, but I feel like more education to the community, to the kids, and I think we can get under control.
Care to repeat that question?
Trash.
Just trash is the only one?
Just
trash.
because we're going to get to the other
Okay,
ones. But
okay.
it was up there with dogs, drugs, jail. It just,
Okay.
It's one of the big ones.
One of the big ones,
What are
okay.
your policies and procedures?
Okay. Well, as you know, we have a solid waste company. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of leeway because they're the only company that's bid on our garbage collection for the last, I think, two contracts. So we do have some we have some leads. We have 2 other companies now that say they're going to bid when that becomes available. Which we've got a 1-year extension on that, so that will be next year that we'll bid on that. But as far as the trash, I think anybody that knows me knows how passionate I am about picking up trash. I've participated in what was called the Pride Cleanup at Cumberland Falls for about 8 years in a row. I've helped the VFW pick up trash. I've helped on my own, and I hate trash. Just like my father before me, I hate trash, and I don't understand the concept. And whether people want to believe it or not, it's our own people that are putting out the trash. It's not the tourists, because they don't do that where they come from. So we've made great strides there. We have a program where charitable groups get paid, and we up that to $100 a mile. So our numbers got down, we upped that up. So we have quite a few groups, church groups, the Masons, etc., VFW that does that. And they can not only beautify their county, but they can pick up trash and earn money. So also, for the first time in the history of McCreary County, we have a code enforcement officer, Mr. Stephen McKinney, who does an awesome job in collaboration with the county attorney, Mr. Austin Price. They have a 100% conviction rate. So guess what? If you're caught throwing away trash, guess what? You're going to be picking up trash, and you're going to get a fine on top of that. So very proud about that. If you'll notice, we have dump days twice a year. I don't know how many years we'd ever had a dump day, and we've had a total, I think, of 13 dump days. So we schedule them twice a year. We also have tire disposal days. So trash is something that's at the forefront of our mind at all times. And I do agree. I believe it begins in the school, that we have to change the concept, the whole mindset of our kids growing up today, that it's not okay to throw trash out. Thank you.
Okay, next, this is another one that kind of rubs me the wrong way. I'm a dog lover, okay? We have, and it's not the dog's fault, we have an irresponsible pet owner problem in McCreary County, Kentucky. And I'm not talking about, anybody who's ever owned dogs, no matter how responsible you are, every once in a while they climb out and they get loose. And we're not talking about that irresponsible, that's you're responsible, but stuff still happens. I'm not talking about that, because I got dinged about that. I'm talking about these people who Around by these dogs and cats, they don't feed, they barely feed them, they're half starved, and they turn them loose, and some of them are dangerous, okay, and they become dangerous. We have a dog issue in the county. So the citizens, this is one of the big ones, okay? The citizens want to know, what is your policies and procedures going to be about that? We'll do another 3 minutes.
Okay, dogs. I knew we'd get around to dogs, but that is an issue, and just like you said, and as Mr. Price always says at every fiscal court meeting, it's a personal responsibility issue. If you choose to have a pet, then you have to control that pet. And I know we live in the country, so we don't like to lock our dogs up, but we are by law supposed to have our dogs contained. But whenever I go to a conference, a judges or magistrates conference, the top 2 subjects that are talked about are jails and dogs. So, not that it makes a difference, but everybody has a dog problem. It's a problem because people don't take care of their dogs. They don't have them spayed and neutered. And of course, a lot of people take the dog home and it's cute until it has about 10 puppies. And then all of a sudden it's not their dog. So we have an animal control officer, and he has a thankless job, and he has a no-win situation job. But we have partnered. We have a local animal protection league that we contract with. We pay them quarterly. We've just added an additional amount of money, $10,000, for them to make improvements, to build more kennels, to contain the dogs. And this spring we're going to combine forces with the Animal Protection League, and we're going to pitch in along with the fiscal court, and we're going to pitch in money to do spay and neutering. So there again, it's a huge problem, and I wish it wasn't. But what the final solution is, I don't have that answer. I wish I did. Thank you.
I agree with that, and I had a privilege of going over and meeting with the Animal Protection League lady a while back, and I agree more resources need to be put into that, more education there once again, and if we can get some more spade and neutering programs in here, I think it'll help control. But like you all said, it's an issue. I think it's going to be a continuing issue, but it's something that I feel like we put more resource, more time, more promotion into the animal shelter we have, and like Mr. Green said, upgrade it some. I think it'll make a big difference in the long run.
Okay. Next issue, drugs. And we're not isolating this. Every family, to include my own, has been affected by the drug problem. Every family. I mean, and it's a tragedy. And it's just horrible. And this is a big concern of every community, not just McCreary County. I mean, every community. And now we have a new drug coming in here that's supposed to be even more lethal and more dangerous. So, moving forward, what will be your policy and procedures, if anything? I don't know, you have to tell us, what can the county judge executive do and the physical court do, if anything, about the drug problem in McCreary County?
It is an issue, like Ms. Darlene Price there said. I have, my family has been, I've been involved with drugs with them. It's a sad issue to see someone that you love, let the drugs take over. Once again, I think we go back to more education, and what can we bring in this county for the people when we get them off drugs? What do we have here for them? Are there any kind of programs we can bring in to help them stay off the drugs? And but yes, it's a very bad issue here in the county, and I would work with local law enforcement to try to give them more help, more support, to try to help them get this off the streets. Whatever needed to be done, I'd be there to support it.
Okay, I think, of course, the drug problem is an epidemic all across the United States, not just McCreary County, but I feel like this administration for 7 years has put forth 100% effort. I think you could talk to the sheriff or Deputy Reidner, and you would know that McCreary County Fiscal Court helps fund 6 deputies. There was 3 when we came into office, so we put every effort into that. We've helped them acquire vehicles. We've helped them in any way that they needed help, and we coordinate and work well together. And the drug problem is an ongoing problem that we, as well as anybody else in the United States, we don't have an answer for that. But due to the settlement with the opioid abatement money, we've been able to put that in action, and we partnered with Judge Pruitt and Karen Kidd over at the school board, and they have a 7-step program that's in effect right now to help those offenders that are in high school. And that program has been very successful. So that's the education part of it, and I will put a plug in and say that there is money available, but this money, it has to be screened, it has to go to a good cause. We just don't give this money away willy-nilly because we have it, because anything that's misused, the fiscal court has to pay that back. So that's a big responsibility. But yes, I agree, the drug program is a serious problem, and you know, I'm on the ASAP Unite board, and I try to attend those meetings every month, and those are very important in ways and keeping up and how to combat that. But a lot of your legislation is getting kind of lax right now too, so that's something that we have to lobby for, is to try to change some of these laws that are in effect. Thank you.
How are we on time right now? What time is it?
6:26.
6:26, okay. Well, now on 3 minutes, we have plenty of time. Okay.
Thank you.
Jail. Here's one of the other ones that keeps coming up. We no longer have a jail in McCreary County. That has created issues. Moving forward, how will you handle that? Policies and procedures that the county judge and physical court will do, the jail situation.
Okay.
So who's?
Darlene, speak up.
Oh, jail, the jail situation. Sorry.
Use your microphone.
Duh. Sorry about that. I'm telling them to use the microphone. I'm sitting there not using the microphone through the whole thing. I am so sorry. Anyway, the jail situation. What are your policies and procedures?
You know, being out campaigning stuff, you hear it's a hot topic. Jail. Everybody wants a jail. I don't have an answer to that right now, but I do know that if elected, that's something, you know, I want to look into, work with the next jailer or the jailer that's there now, fiscal court, to see, you know, if it's an option, if we can afford to have one here in the county, look at all avenues. I know they take a lot of research. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. A lot of research to go into it, a lot of planning, meetings, but, you know, but it's something that many of our citizens want, and I know there's a lot of policies and stuff I still have to learn about it. I have been looking at some of it. I haven't got it all down, but I'd be willing to work with a jailer, new magistrates or magistrate-elect, to see what we can do to bring a jail in McCreary County.
Jail.
Jails. I've heard a little bit about jails. I will tell you this. I've done a lot of studying on this. I go to all the judges' conferences. I go to the judge magistrate conferences. I go to the CACO conferences. Jails are the #1 issue in Kentucky, okay? There's a House Bill 557 right now that's trying to make some reformations to jails. This concerns money that once a person is convicted, that it goes back from the state, they have to repay the counties. People don't realize when they think Johnny or Susie's committing a crime that it doesn't hurt anybody. But guess who pays for that? You do. The taxpayers, you pay for that. Not only that, but you pay for all their medical. So I'm going to tell you this right off the bat. Right now, we have a contract with the Whitley County Jail. And there's a $7.5 million expansion. Well, I'll take that back. It's closer to $9 million. But there was an appropriation from Senator Stivers for $7.5 million. Could not be used to build a jail. Could not be used for a playground. Could not be used to fix roads. Only an appropriation because that's considered a regional jail. That's all they're approving now is a regional jail. So I just need to say this with all the conviction that I can. The chances of McCreary County getting a jail are slim to none. And that's just the facts of the matter. Probably a 300-bed jail would cost you upwards of $25 million. The only way to raise that money is to raise taxes. But get this, just because you had the money, the state has to approve it. They actually tried to stop our extension after we already had the money in the bank because of the governor. But we won't get into that. But she voted against us, the chief financial officer, the governor, But there was enough people on the board that we knew that were judges and state representatives that they voted to go ahead and let us do the expansion. So this is a win-win. We're 20 minutes away. We save money by housing our inmates in another jail. They're close. The transport costs will be down. And it just works. It's a win-win. I mean, if you want to talk about it, I can talk about it till I'm blue in the face, but that's just the facts of the matter. We're not going to be getting to jail anytime soon. I'm sorry.
Okay. Microphone. Can't believe I asked all those questions without a microphone. Somebody should have thrown something at me and hit me in the head. What are your plans? Sorry about that. I apologize. What are your plans and policies for the financial future of McCreary County? And please be specific.
Okay, it's a good question. I think if you take a look at McCreary County's financial situation now, as far as with the fiscal court, we have like-minded people on the board that think, like I say, in one accord, in one body, and what our mission is, and I know I thought of that from day one, is this is the taxpayers' money. It doesn't belong to anybody on that fiscal court. So we have to take that into mind every decision that we make. McCreary County is one of 9 counties in Kentucky that are debt-free. One of 9. And I think that's quite an accomplishment. But it wasn't done just by the fiscal court. It was done by all the department heads, the staff that work there. We have people in the different departments that look for ways to save money. I'll just throw one out quickly. The road department, they decided to put the roof on the garage themselves. Saved us probably $10,000 to $15,000. We have 2 men over there that are in charge of servicing all the vehicles. They get on eBay. They source out parts that saves us thousands of dollars. And look at our ambulance service. Look at our park. Just if you look at all the departments, everybody is conscientious. That's something that really surprises me, how diligent they are and how much they care for the county and want to be good tax stewards of the taxpayers' money. And that's what we have to do. And our financial situation is good. I mean, could it turn at a blink of the eye? It probably could. We have some money in reserve, though, in case that happens. So we're always mindful. Every penny that we spend or that we propose, Debbie and Geraldine in the financial side of the fiscal court, they make sure that what we're doing is right and every penny can be accounted for. So we're very careful about what we spend the money on. We try to get the best deals possible, and I feel like we're really doing good financially, and we'll just continue to do that. Thank you.
I too would work with any aspect I could to save taxpayers' money, make good decisions on how their money's been spent. Work with the local head departments and all that stuff to continue to save the taxpayers' money, and look at ways to. I would look at maybe tighten more budgets, look at stricter, some spending, and try to save the county as much money as possible.
This was a new one. It wasn't at the top of the list, but I had not, in previous debates, I had not gotten this question, but it's a good one. What, if anything, could the county judge executive and the fiscal court do to combat the rampant child abuse that is occurring and has been occurring in this county?
Challenger.
What can we do as a county? I don't know. I would work with local DCBS, law enforcement, try to put in some resources in places to help educate. Once again, it's all about, I feel, I come from the education background about educating. I'd work with, like I said, local law enforcement, DCBS, anybody in, county government I need to work with to try to put help them get stricter policies in place and try to get control of the situation.
Care to repeat that question? Sorry.
What, if anything, could the county judge executive and the fiscal court do to combat the rampant child abuse that has been occurring and is occurring in this county?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Darlene, I don't know what the county, as far as the fiscal court could do. I mean, that's kind of we would lend any type of support that the courts would need. But that's really not our wheelhouse. I mean, that would be up to the powers that be and the courts and DCBS and child welfare. But that's not really anything that's under our purview. But we would lend support in any way. But I've never had anyone actually come to us about that. So I don't really know what we could do. If there's anything we could do, we'd be glad to help. But no one has ever asked us that before. Thank you.
Yeah, and it is the first time I've gotten that question too, so, okay, they both answered, right? That's,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Gotta keep me straight here. Okay, next question, transparency. That is a big issue, especially if you've been watching the federal government, the Epstein files, UFO, UAP files. That's an issue for me, what's been going on in the London, Kentucky. I don't know if you guys are following that. If you know the Doug Harless case, you need to be following that. My colleague over there, Hillbilly Crime, is doing an excellent job covering that, and Crime with Bobby's doing a good job. These are my fellow podcasters covering that. Transparency is an issue. So what will be your policies and procedures moving forward to make sure that the people know out there that, you know, full transparency?
Transparency, well, as I mentioned earlier, transparency, of course, is big because this is your money. This is citizens' money. And I think Darlene could even attest to, she did an open records request when I first came into office. But we honor all open records requests as long as they meet the requirements. One of the big ones is you have companies from out of state that are just wanting to do surveys or studies in college. That doesn't qualify under the Open Records Act of Kentucky. So I'm pretty well versed on the Open Records Act, but we've had several recently candidates running for office, and that's a good thing. They need to know. But we are very transparent, as I said earlier. Anytime you want to look at the books, anytime you want to look at the budget, anytime you want to look about our payable receipts, you're more than welcome to do it. And unless it's just an abnormal amount of documents that you want, we won't even charge you. And we're legally allowed to charge you, but we are transparent. I don't see any way that we could be any more transparent. We're open to the press anytime they want to talk to us. Anytime any citizen wants to talk to us, we are transparent. Thank you.
If elected, I would be transparent as well. I think it's very important that, you know, you'll have that policy in place where people, they can come in and ask for open records, react to certain laws that meets the laws and guidelines. It's important that the county, the citizens know where their taxpayer dollars are going and stuff like that. So, yes, I would be very transparent if I was elected in office.
Okay, I'm going to talk about this again, and I refer to this in my book. If you have not been following this case, you really need to be, because this could happen anywhere. I don't know if you've been, the Doug Harless case, it really strikes home for me. This is a situation where the London Police Department went out of their jurisdiction into the county, with or without a warrant, we still don't know, okay? Went to the wrong address, you know, almost at midnight, you know, night before Christmas Eve, and basically did not verify the address, did not verify anything. We really don't know what happened. Body cameras were purchased and issued and never worn. They showed up in unmarked cars, not marked themselves, and when the door was open, we still don't know, you know, we still don't know if there was a warrant. You know, the case is over, and nobody's coughing up the warrant, even though open records requests repeatedly have been done. And basically killed this old man. I think 68 years old. I mean, that could be any, you know, a lot of you sitting out there right now, that could be you. So, to me, this, of all the cases in Kentucky, and there's other cases too, this just pulls at my heart, what happened to this man. You know, the community, he was loved in the community. You know, when they went in there, he had Christmas presents. Every year he would go and donate Christmas presents to the local, you know, hospital for kids and stuff. And this is just beyond a tragedy. So the question is, and this is mine, this is not, well, actually I did have a couple people bring it up, but mostly this is for me. Is there anything that the county judge executive, physical court could do so that this never happens in McCreary County? I don't know what you could do or if anything, but is there something, laws you could pass, whatever, policies, ordinances, something, body camera, something about this so we don't have a Doug Harless right here in McCreary County? This is my question.
Challenger.
I seen where the sheriff's department got some body cams, so yes, I think that probably would help with some of that. And to be honest, to answer that fully, it's something I would be against and would want to work with whoever to create a system to where it don't happen here in the county. But and I think that by having our elected sheriff and his office, that they should have more control over that situation. But as far as getting them support and stuff, I'd be there to do that.
Care to repeat that, Darlene?
The Doug Harless case that happened in London, Kentucky.
Okay, yeah, I know that part. So what your question is?
The question is there anything that the county judge could do, maybe enact some policies, procedures, force people to wear body cameras, maybe some rules, I don't know. Just so, is there something the county judge and fiscal court could do so that does not happen in McCreary County? Education, something.
Right. Well, I guess you really have to have confidence in your sheriff's department and the deputies that are trained to look for those situations, and we've done good there. As it's mentioned, the sheriff's department was able to get a grant for the body cams, and the fiscal court paid to have the subscription, which is very costly for that. So we try to aid them and help them and support them in any way that we can. And I think they do a great job, and so that helping to put quality people in that position, I think that's very important. And we usually we have a big saying, what deputies are hired, so that's something that the oversight that we need to look at. But that's pretty much under the sheriff's department as far as what they do in their policies. But the body cams, putting them in place, that was a big thing and much needed, and very glad to see that. Thank you.
They wouldn't answer that.
Yep.
Okay. How are we on time?
6:42.
6:42. Okay. This was a big citizens question too. What qualifications do you have that specifically make you the best person to serve as the McCreary County Judge Executive, and why do you want this job? 3 minutes.
Well, that'll have to be up to the citizens to determine if I'm the best person for this job. But I think, as an incumbent, you have an advantage or a disadvantage. Your advantage being they can see your body of work. If it's good, then that's good for you. But if it's bad, it's easy for everyone to see that you didn't do so good. So I feel very good about what I've been able to do with the fiscal court and with the department heads, because one person can't come in there and make a change and do good. It takes a complete team. And I feel like I work well with others. I have a leadership style that I believe in leading by influence and not by authority. And that basically means that if it's something that I won't participate in and do myself, it's kind of hard to ask other people to do that. So I'm able to listen to all entities, everybody that we have to work with, and able to have good relationships with our congressmen in Washington, D.C., have good relationships with our legislators in Frankfurt, work well with the school board, the community college. Presently I'm on 10 different boards, so I think I'm very good at networking. I'm good at listening to other people's opinions and their comments, whether they are exactly what I think. That's okay, because that's what we're supposed to do, especially as a judge executive. You listen to everyone. And I know my dad always stressed to me to serve your community and give back. But one thing he told me, and I have this hanging on my wall, everybody's problem is the most important problem in the world to them. And you have to consider that, whether it's a dog barking in the middle of the night, whether it's a neighbor shooting at their house, or a road issue, whatever it is, consider that and consider everybody's problems equally, no matter who they are. And that's important to this job. Thank you.
I too believe that I have good leadership skills. I've always been a community giver. I've worked with housing corporations, brought housing to the county. I've done repair fire boards. I've done several different things to give back to my community as well. I do believe, like I said, I do believe I have good leadership skills. I've owned small businesses. I think with my skills and my things I've done, it'll help me be be stronger to lead McCreary County. I want to prioritize our kids, our elderly, everybody in this, every single person in the county. And if elected, I will do that.
Tourism. What will be your policies and procedures moving forward to raise and help tourism?
Challenger.
Tourism is something big. We have so much beauty here in the county, and I would work with the tourism people to continue to promote, all their beauty and stuff that we have here. I feel it's something that, it's a key aspect to our county. If we get the word out more, get more tourism people in here, which will bring in more dollars towards the county, and we can use that money to make county grow other places. So I'd be behind tourism, promote it really well.
Okay, as is mentioned, tourism is big, of course, as you look around. McCreary County is a beautiful place, and that's something that we've got to capitalize on. I could see more people, maybe private investors, maybe doing something like hiking or canoeing, some kind of a guide service that you could have. But as far as tourism right now, I think we're at a really good spot. Michelle at Tourism does an excellent job. We're always looking for things to do to involve the community. That's what we do as a county government. We're not here to make money. We're here to provide the best services with the money that we have, that our budget allows. And if you look at all the improvements that have been done at the park, at the county park, or look at Sand Hill, the improvements with all the fire pits that have been put in, the paving, the Wi-Fi that's been put in down there, have major events down there, and just continual improvements. This year we had the Christmas lights, the free Christmas lights, and that was a big hit. A buddy of mine is the mayor of Burnside, and he told me that their numbers were way down because you have to pay to go to Christmas Island in Burnside. So that's been a big plus. Michelle's just, comes up with new events. We have running events. We have, this year we're going to have a synthetic skating rink around Christmas time to go along with the lights. So there's a lot of programs there. We have Winterfest. This administration, in coordination with the parade, we brought the McCreary Fest back. It had been gone for many years. So we're always just looking to push that envelope to just do more for tourism and give back to the people. And that's what it's about, providing the services for the citizens.
All right, how much time we got?
6:48.
See, we gave them all the time they wanted, and we're going to end early tonight because they didn't use up all those minutes. So, for the people out there that beat up on me, you're not giving them enough time. 2 minutes enough time. Was that enough time, gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So now we're down to closing arguments. We'll just give you as much time as you want. Say 5 minutes each if you want, which I know you won't use. But closing arguments, and they can say whatever they want.
Judge Green.
Okay. Like I said, I'm currently your judge executive. I'm in my second term, and we've really worked hard. And I say we because it's not about one person. The reason I first ran for this office, of course, my dad served for 17 years, but I really wasn't interested in it, but he kept stressing to me to give back to your community, and that's what I wanted to do. And the only thing I ever promised in any of the times that I've run for judge is that I will work hard and I will be a good steward of the taxpayers' money. My first 4 years in office, all the conferences that I went to, I paid for out of my own pocket because I didn't know what the budget would be like. Even though money is set aside for that, I decided that I would pay for it. I've never took one penny for reimbursement for 1 mile of any trips that I've taken on. So I think personally you have to start with yourself. First, are you a good steward of the county's money? Do you want someone that can manage a $20 million budget that person needs to be fiscally responsible. They need to be able to pay their loans and be able to manage their own finances before they can take on an aspect like that, along with the fiscal court. So we've made a lot of improvements, and I just keep seeing things going forward. And like I said, we have more land owned by the federal government than any other county in Kentucky, and it's not even close. We're looking at about 80% of your land is owned by the Forest Service or the Park Service, the schools, whatever, the prison. So we have a very limited amount of funds to use. So with that, we have to be very careful, and I think we've done an excellent job with that. And like I said, I really enjoy networking. I really enjoy getting out and meeting people and meeting the people that can help us, And I'm not a big fan of the governor, but guess what? You got to dance with who brung you, so you have to have a good relationship with them. Otherwise, there'll be no funding coming your way. So I feel like we've been able to do that. And if you just look at the services that we provide, you have an unbelievable road department. Look at your ambulance service. Our ambulance service is second to none. There's people from all across the state that call me and Jimmy Barnett because they want to know how he's made a successful ambulance service. If you look at the tourism aspect, our parks, just everybody from top to bottom, I think, does an excellent job. And we're always looking out for the people. And I'm very proud to be a part of that. And I would like to be your judge for another 4 years. But just in closing, you may have a lot of ideals and things that you want to do, but you need to look at the budget and see what you can actually do, what monies are available, because it's not an endless supply of money. And you've got to be able to work with all the different entities, all the different offices in the county. Like I said, network with the college, with your state senators, legislators. But it's a big responsibility, but it's one that I really enjoy doing, because obviously I love McCreary County, or I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be running for this position. So I would like to ask for your support, that you would consider voting for me, and let's work together. Let's all pitch in together instead of complaining, and let's find solutions instead of problems. And thank you very much, and thank you for the time, Darlene.
Thank you, Mr. Green. And me too, myself as well. I have a love for this county. My main goal is I would like to see the county to move forward. If elected, I will work hard for the county. And I believe some of the better days are yet to come. And tonight I ask for your trust, I ask for your support, and I ask for your vote. Once again, my name is Mike Jones. I'm running for McCreary County Judge Executive. Thank you for your time, and may God bless you all.
Okay, folks, it takes a lot of guts to get up here and have cameras pointing at you. You've never done this before. I'm on the air all the time, so it's no big deal to me. I'm used to it. But it takes a lot of guts to get up here and do what these candidates do. Get up here and have somebody like me fire questions at them, cameras point at them. They deserve a big round of applause here. And I saw something here just a minute ago that I really like seeing. These two shook hands and acknowledged each other. We need more of that in our politics. We can agree to disagree, and I just want to say that was a good moment there for both of you. That you guys did that. That was amazing, because we need more of that in politics. I have friends. I'm kind of a moderate. People who know me, I'm a little bit of a moderate. I'm not over there with the crazy left. I'm not over there with the crazy right. I'm kind of in the middle, so everybody hates me, I guess. But no, it's never cost me a friend. I would never, over politics, tell somebody, well, I can't be friends with you, or I don't care about you anymore. And I think it's a sad state of affairs that in this country, we have people doing that. We have people that, well, if you don't like Trump, you can't be in my family. Or if you like Trump, the opposite, you can't be in my family. We got people doing that. Folks, we should never sacrifice someone you care about or love for politics. Politics is always going to be here. But you know what? Family, good friends, and there's friends out there that are your family. that's constant. That's what's real, and we got to remember that. You know, I know I do a show called Truth or Politics. I call people out, and I know if you have a few dozen people, especially in Pulaski County, that hate my guts, and that's okay. That's all right. That's what I do. But just in general, families first, man. Your family means something to you, and don't ever lose a family member. Don't ever lose somebody you love or a close friend because you disagree with their politics. You know, let them have their point, you have your point, and just turn around and say, you know what? It's okay. We can agree to disagree. And these two gentlemen here tonight sat here and they shook hands at the end. We need more of that in politics. How about another big round of applause for them? And we want to thank our timekeeper, Attorney Josh Lowe from the County Attorney's Office, who did an excellent job keeping us straight. And Michael Mann here, who comes out every week just and keeps me straight. Believe me, I couldn't do this if I didn't have people behind the scenes keeping this going. And we want to thank our live studio audience. I know you can't see this on the camera, but we got quite a big audience here. How about a big round of applause for our audience? Oh, thank you. There you go. Around the camera. There you go. And you are on live TV tonight, too. But we want to thank MVR TV and Steve Hall. My hero, Steve Hall, who has kept us on the air for 15 years. The poor man has been through more crap because of me calling out people. He's been wrongfully arrested. You name it. He's gone through it for Truth or Politics. And something else he does, too. He has been repeatedly requested to run commercials during Truth or Politics. And he can make a lot of money doing that. And Steve Hall and NBR TV has said no. Because the minute you start letting that creep in, then they can control what you cover. You know, I don't like her going after the Somerset mayor. You stop doing that or we'll pull our money. He has been an advocate for, you know, for transparency and for exposing waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption. And Steve Hall is the hero of the day, and I just want to say that. He doesn't get as much recognition as he should in NBR TV. So how about a big round of applause for NBR TV? And how close to time? How much more time we got?
6:57.
6:57. See how close? I'm used to having that time clock up there. Anyways, thank you all again. We want to thank the people watching live on Facebook and live on MBR TV. Thank you all, and we will have a debate next week. I forget what the debate is. Is it the sheriff's? Sheriff's debate next week. That ought to be a good one right here. So, same bad time, same bad place, 6 o'clock. We'll be live on Facebook, live on MBR TV. Please join us next week for the sheriff's debate. And we will see you next Monday, weather permitting. I know we've had to cancel a couple of these because the weather had to juggle things around, didn't cooperate. Hopefully we won't have any weather problems. And we'll see you next time on Truth or Politics. Thanks.
Thank you.